Good morning everyone and welcome to my craft room. Anyone who doesn't know me, my name's Julianne Richards and I am an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator in southern Tasmania. Just bear with me and I'll catch up my iPad here. Here we go. Check that my volume's right. There we go. Looks right to me. Just close that down. Okay, so, oh goodness me, I have suffered for our art this morning, and as soon as I say that it makes me giggle because what have I done? I've basically sat on my bottom traumatising about making a card. But anyway, at the moment it felt like suffering, so we'll just go with that. I'm assuming that lots of people watching understand what I mean. I have actually tried to recreate a card I found from Pinterest, and I will find the, I can't remember the lady's name I took it from at the moment, but I will put it in the comments. Yes, I tried to copy a card from Pinterest and adapt it for my beginner crafters. The card that the lady, the demonstrator made on Pinterest was very similar to this one, but it used dies to cut out the inner circles, the inner rectangles. And when I do a beginner class, I assume that beginners don't have a die cutting machine, so I was just trying to replace it with panels of cardstock just cut with my trimmer. So I traumatised and mucked around, and this is as good as I could get with the pattern that I got from the demonstrator on Pinterest. I wasn't really happy with it, though it's quite nice. It just really didn't do it for me. So then I had a bit more of a play, and I came out with this design, which I thought, oh yeah, I like that a little bit more. Still missing something, maybe some colour. So then I tried it in a pink, and then I thought, no, I don't think I like the pink. I think I'll come back to the black. So yeah, so basically this is the card I'm going to make for you today, with maybe a few tweaks to bring it in line with the original design, but fundamentally this is the one we're going to be doing. It uses the Parisian Beauty cards stamp set from the current mini catalogue, and also the Forever Blossoms, which is also in the mini catalogue, the 2020 mini catalogue. So a bit of a combination of those go beautifully together. So if you're thinking of buying a couple together, these complement each other beautifully. Anyway, so it's actually a layered stamped card. I think that's probably as scientific as you can get. And I'll just tell you, I've got the layers. If you can zoom in down on this corner, I've got the dimensions of the layers written there, probably for my own benefit. But I will put these in the comments as well, so don't worry too much about that. So as I said, we've got layers of white and black with the stamping there, and it gives it a lovely layered view. And I've got some champagne rhinestones there as well, and some of the beautiful champagne ribbon. Anyway, let's get started and I'll show you how I've done it, and I'll show you the slight change I'm going to make. Okay, so we'll pop those aside. I've got most of my blocks already. So here's our pieces of paper. I've got a basic black card base, which is my normal size for a card base, 8 1/4 by 5 3/4, scored in the middle. Then I've got a panel of Whisper White, which is cut 1/8 of an inch smaller than that card base. I've also got another one cut at the same size for inside as well, so we'll get to that later. Then I've got my layers of basic black. So if you look just at the black ones, just for ease, I've got 2 here, and the larger one is 4 3/4 inches by 2 1/2 inches, and the smaller one is 3 3/4 inches by 1 1/2 inches. So it's basically an inch smaller, so it fits nicely in that one, not that you can see. Then my white, the corresponding white, and I'll just move those out of the way so you can see the white ones. The white ones are 4 5/8 of an inch by 2 3/8, and 3 5/8 by 1 3/8. So they again are an inch smaller than each other. The small one's an inch smaller than the big one, and they sort of layer in with each other to form our layers. I'm just going to sit down, bear with me for a minute, if it wobbles a bit. Okay, so the technique with these is the same regardless of size of your panels. You layer up your white, which is where we're going to stamp on. Pop a very small piece of snail nail adhesive in the centre just to hold it in place, and then position your white ones just where you want them to be. So in this case I'm having them central. You could move them over to the side a little bit, which is one I tried, which was quite unusual. Quite liked it. That's actually my inside one. I'm actually using this one, sorry. Swapped over again. Small bits of snail adhesive. Yeah, that's better, I can tell. And position them, just move that way so I can position them properly. So the same distance, top and bottom, and side by side. Yeah, and then another piece of snail and the same. Okay. I don't know if you can see that with the shadow. That's sort of where I've got things happening. Okay, then I'm going to glue up our beautiful Eiffel Tower, and I'm going to use just black ink for that. I'm just going to do this bit first because everything else sort of fits in around it, so you need to get it in the right position. Okay, so you're going to stamp, and for anyone who hasn't done these sorts of cards before, you're actually going to stamp over the layers. So you do get little bits in the sort of in the step down, in the bit where it steps down, you do get bits where your ink doesn't take, so don't worry about that. That's what the black cardstock's there to hide to a certain degree. So I'm going to pop that, get that straight again. I'm stamping on the side today, probably makes life a little bit difficult. Just put that in there as straight as you can. And there we go. Oh, I've got a little bit of a problem up the top there, but that shouldn't be too much of a problem. So as you see, you do miss those little bits where the layers sort of step onto each other, but that's okay. You'll see those disappear in a minute. Then I've got this beautiful sort of script writing here that comes with the stamp set, and I'm going to pop that on here. This is Smoky Slate. I'm using Smoky Slate here. And I'm going to just put the Smoky Slate writing on the background of our card here. So just lining it up. Bring it down a little bit so I can line it up. You might see the top of my head here, apologies. I just want to get in and over, so I'm starting off nice and straight. There we go. Then I'm just going to step it down, sort of one side to the other, down the card. And finish it around here. Cool. So that's a little bit of a background there. That's the last of the Smoky Slate. Then I'm going to bring in, this is where the Forever Blossoms comes in. This is the cute little blossom from that set, which just goes so beautifully with our Paris in the springtime sort of theme. I'm just going to bring those in, and they look really good if you can actually step them over the layers as well. I'm going to put a couple up here. There we go. Okay, so your positioning of that's really up to you. I sort of just pop them sort of randomly around there. Okay, so now I'm going to bring in my blends, and it's going to be my Petal Pink Light and Dark. I'm going to do mostly in the dark here, so just colour those in while you've still got your layers together. So in this case I want the colour quite deep, so I'm going to take most of the dark most of the way out to the edge of our flower. Usually I'd stop sort of where that in the centre there, but I'm going to bring it right out. The petal pink is such a beautiful subtle colour, and I want this to be a little bit darker than my normal. So practically all the way out to the end, all of our little flowers here. There we go. Try not to wobble your layers too much. It should be okay now. That's all the stamping you need to do. Okay, then I'm going to just bring in the lighter shade of the petal pink and just finish off those little edges, just to give it a slight light tip. Probably only you as a card maker would probably notice, but we know it's there. Okay, that's it there. Okay, so I'll just bring that a little bit closer so you can see. There we have it, our layers are all stamped up. Oh, I'm going to pop the sentiment on. So the sentiment I've decided to use is this one that's also from the Forever Blossoms, which is "You Mean So Much to Me." That can be used for just about anything really, birthdays, anniversaries, anything like that. I'm going to pop it on this bottom layer, just sneak it up on the first layer there. There we go. Cool. Okay, so now with this one, you just basically bring your layers apart, and then we can assemble our card. Okay, so this first one, this tiny one, is glued onto the tiny black. Get some glue here. And then the middle one obviously goes onto the middle sized black. Don't know if you can hear that in the background. That's my family having some deep and meaningful discussion. I don't really want to tell them to shush. Okay, so I'm going to actually now bring this middle size layer, I'm actually going to attach it to the large white panel. I'm going to change the way I've done the ribbon slightly with this one, which is the big change. So I'm going to put that one on there. So you're basically just lining it up so that the picture appears unbroken. So there and there, and you can follow the lines of your script to make sure that that looks like it's on the right level. And as I say, you then lose some of the, it's not at all straight, you lose some of the bit where you've lost your ink. It actually covers, the black layer covers the gaps. There we are, that's pretty good. So we've got that one there. Then I'm going to bring my ribbon in, and I'm going to wrap the ribbon around there, this layer instead. I'm going to wrap the ribbon around halfway, and I'm going to tie the bow off on the left hand side. Okay, prepare to be amazed at how fumbly one person can be. Anyone who's watched me for a while knows that I'm not a big fan of tying bows. but I'll try. So just make sure it's all lies nice and flat and firm. Let's see how this goes. Ta-da! It's only stuck to my finger a little bit. There we go. That's not too bad. I'll trim those edges in a minute once I've got the rest of the card together. That's about straight. It's about where I wanted it. I might take it up a little bit. There we go. So it doesn't. Yep. So it's about halfway, if you like that. And now I'll just bring in the bottom, the final layer, and I'm actually going to put this on dimensional so it sticks up a little bit. Find some dimensionals here. So just around, make sure I put one in the middle just to so I hopefully capture that ribbon so it doesn't move around too much. Too much glue on my fingers. The paper is sticking. Anyway, so there we go. So I'm going to pop that on. As I say, just line it up so that the lines of your images look sort of unbroken. Go and straight, and there we have it. So that's quite sweet. I'm going to trim those ribbon ends. They're a little bit long. Just now going to pop this one onto our card base. And that's it done. So I might actually use double-sided tape on that just to capture the ribbon on the back. It doesn't move around while the glue dries. There we go. Make that ribbon bow a little bit smaller. There we go. And trim it off. Now the final step, the final touch will be adding some rhinestones, some of the beautiful champagne rhinestones. I'll just grab my tool. I'm just going to pop a rhinestone in the centre of each of those little flowers. As you can see, I'm just about running out. I'm going to have to get some more just for a little bit of extra bling. Tricky when your flower has its middle just on one of those layers, but anyway, it's all good. That's done. Okay, so hopefully you can see that little bit of bling there, a little bit of glue there. So that's quite nice. I hope you like that one. That's the end of my trauma and suffering for the day. I think I finally cracked it. I think I like the ribbon underneath the top layer only, so you get to see a little bit more of it, and I like the layers. The way the writing is there as well. So there you go. And I might pop that piece inside. So you could put, because we've got a fairly general sentiment on the outside, you mean so much to me, the inside could be something like happy birthday or happy anniversary or anything like that. Even just leave it blank. There we go. Excellent. Okay, really happy with that one. Hope you like it as well. As I say, I will put the credit for the lady who gave me the original idea, the demo that gave me the original idea on in the comments, plus also those dimensions, those cutting instructions as well. So hopefully you like that one. It's been nice to revisit the Parisian Beauty stamp set. I haven't touched it for a while, and it's really quite lovely. So as I say, that is in the annual catalogue, oh no, the mini catalogue, the 2020 Stampin' Up mini catalogue. So see if you like that, give it a go. Anyway, okay, that's the end of this particular video. As I said, I'm Julianne Richards from Southern Tasmania. If you haven't got a demonstrator and you'd like to purchase any of these products and you live in Australia, please consider me. You can purchase online, doesn't matter where you live. If you have any questions about joining Stampin' Up or any of the products that you've seen, please drop me a line or put something in the comments and I will contact you. Okay, thanks very much. Have a great weekend or whenever you're watching this in replay, and I will catch you all again next time.